brother Shelby Parris. I appreciate you allowing me to interview you during these, very tough times in 2020 coronavirus. And thank you, Knowledge Seekers, for joining the YouTube channel. I will be providing you more interviews with Black entrepreneurs, giving you their Black story, their Black experience, dealing with these issues and the times. We're going to talk about what they go through, what they've been through. And Brother Shelby, we've been knowing each other for a few years now. We've done business with each other, guys. You guys seen it on live a couple times. And we finally got this interview done, this YouTube interview that we needed to get done. And it needed to get done now anyways, just because of the coronavirus too. So, and I know that he's been doing his great work, and I'm not going to, keep you guys up. You guys know me, I'm Jasper, the owner of Light Knowledge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all of that good jazz. But anyways, Brother Shelby, let the people know who you are and what you do, man.
So like he said, my name is Shelby, as you could, it's probably that mirror vision, but my name is Shelby Parris. I am a 5-time author, +6 if you want to consider my compilation text. I put out the first ever, and that's like stamped, I checked it, the first ever audiobook mixtape. It's called Community Talk, where I set it up literally just like how a song is. When it comes to the cadences, the delivery, finding the pockets, changing flows, the ad-libs, sound effects. So I made a 9-track audio book. It's about 20 minutes total, where I'm literally teaching the aspects and talking about the aspects of communication. So I'm super happy about that. I got a 30-day spiritual elevation. I have a self-publishing class, which actually was then put into my 5th book. And I was just teaching people how I was able to go about self-publishing. Okay. I wrote all my books within 2 years.
So
I got a clothing brand.
Quick question. So where you from?
From New Jersey. Born and raised in Jersey, New Jersey native, which is actually where my clothing brand comes from. It's called Garden Apparel, play on words with the Garden State. So I like to represent.
So when did you start your brand?
I started branding like 3 years ago. When I was 21, I started branding.
What inspired you what came first, the publishing or the
clothes? The clothes came first.
What's the inspiration behind the Garden Apparel?
It was the fact that, one, I was going to school in North Carolina. I was playing ball at a Division II school down there. And I knew and figured I was going to be spending a lot of time outside the state soon enough in my life. I was going to be spending a lot of time and just moving wherever I'm going to be moving to. So for me, it was just always wanting to represent where I'm from.
Okay. So representation was important. Okay. And then when did you start publishing books?
I started publishing books a couple months after I put out my clothing brand. I wrote my first book at 20, had it published, 20, had it published by January of 2018, I want to say. I think January of 2018, I had it published. So that's when I started that, and then wrote my second book and had that published by August. My third and fourth books I wrote within 14 days of each other, had those published the summer of 2019. And then by the end of 2019, I want to say around maybe September, October, because I already had my self-publishing class, just to make it easier and more affordable for people, I chose to put that into a book.
So what made you get into entrepreneur, man? You like, how old are you now?
24. I just turned 24 last month, March 11th.
Well, happy belated. And it's like, so you're 24 years old. What got you into entrepreneurship? Like, I'm just curious, because it's kind of like you did a clothing brand. As you guys know, I'm taking notes, so that's why I got the pencil. So you got this clothing brand, 21, we're writing books. It's like, where did we get this inspiration to build a brand? Like, that's two different things.
Like I said, the clothes itself was just because I wanted to continue to represent Jersey, but in terms of the business aspect of it all,
shout out Jersey.
Fact, shout out to the home state. In terms of the business aspect, I just came from, I'll say, a family line of certain leaders and entrepreneurs. I know I got some people on my mother's side who have owned businesses. My mother used to own her own business at one point, had her staffing company. My pops is a manager at where he works. So it's just, I come from a family where I would say of leaders, and then having cousins that I know were team captains or their sports teams, cheerleading teams, whatever it was. So it was just, I'll say my family itself is definitely leaders, strong, independent men and women.
Okay, so you had that background. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, your books, right? The first book. Let's talk about your first book. A lot of, I mean, I just be curious because I like doing interviews with you guys and picking your guys' brain because I like sharing your experience and your journey with the knowledge seekers and stuff. So that's one major reason why I think you allow me to interview you because you know what I like to do. So I'm guessing it's changed your subconscious and accomplished that you have it right there. Is that your first one, right? So what age did you write that one?
You said what?
At what age did you write that book?
I wrote this one at 21.
Okay, what was what made you say, I gotta write this book?
For me, it was the fact that I was going to be able to take not necessarily my story, but to really be able to share my process. When I was at my first school, when I was down at my school in North Carolina, my freshman year of college, I was playing for the JV team, non-scholarship player, playing as a walk-on for the school technically. End of the season, my coaches wanted me to move up to the varsity team, but I said no because I didn't feel like I was going to get a fair chance to play on the varsity team. Plus, I'm trying to justify it by saying I don't want to take out all these student loans, so let me head back home. End of that school year came, and I find out about beach weekend. About to be perfect. I'm gonna knock out 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm gonna go visit my older brother. My girl was going down at the time. My cousin was going to ODU, so he was gonna be there. I'm like, perfect. This is definitely something to do. I head down there. Me and my brother about to cross the street to go get something to eat. We come to a 3-way intersection. I guess the driver, they looked right. I guess they didn't look back left. They shot out. I got hit by the car. For me, I just knew I had need to go over the car, and the superstition of death coming in threes. There was 2 other dudes from my town who had died in car-related deaths. So for me, it was just, if I'm gonna live, the only thing I know I can do is really try to go over. I can't necessarily try to dive out the way. So that happened, hit and run. Luckily, only walked away with like a dislocated shoulder. Unfortunately, it was to my dominant arm, my shooting arm. So that was changing my game forever. Summertime comes. I come home one night, and as I walk in the house, my mother approaches me. She tells me that we just got a call from the hospital and that my grandmother had died. So now I'm dealing with the regret because I literally said I'll go visit her later and chose to go to beach weekend instead of visiting her. Obviously not knowing this is going to be the last time and last chance I got to see her. So
we got in a car accident. Hold on, let me process. Hold on, King. Hold on. This ain't Oprah. This is Black Knowledge. But let me process. So
definitely more.
So we went. So I'm gonna slow down sometimes so people can also process too. They watch these videos when they go back. So right now, we going to a vacation basically in our college, and we get in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then that car accident ruins our chances of pursuing this sports kind of journey we're going on a little bit, I think.
Nah, I didn't ruin it at all. It was just something I had to deal with.
Something that happened. Okay, and then your grandmother dies.
Yeah.
Wow. So wow. Okay.
And
all
then,
right. So how was you? Where were you mentally at that point? Like at that point, where were you?
With death itself and my concept of death, I know it happens. I was just disappointed in myself because I put pleasure over family.
Yeah.
So that was, it was one of those things that I couldn't change it. So I just accepted it. I was more so definitely thinking about, okay, relearning how to shoot again since my arm was literally hanging until I was able to get it reset at like a Med Express or something. So that was my biggest focus at the time. Well, yeah, I just got it reset. My biggest focus was trying to learn how to shoot again. Eventually, her funeral came. Another regret because I didn't get to see the body in the casket like I would have liked to. I called myself being patient. I thought they would call the immediate family up to see the body before closing the casket, and they didn't do that at her. So now I'm thinking, man, I didn't even get to see her body at least for the last time either. So again, another situation I just got to accept, can't go back in time. It's getting closer to the school year, and I'm having workouts for the junior college back home I was about to go to. And my coach approaches me after the workout. He tells me, I don't like you. Remind me of a player I coached before. Me and him didn't get along. I should have knew right there this is a bad situation. I should definitely be walking away from this. But thinking I got to man up and it's just part of my journey. I just got to go through it. So now it's time for the school year to start. This is when I would say I hit a certain abyss with everything. I know my mother wasn't working. I was failing classes. I'm battling depression. I don't want to be at the school itself. It just has a dark cloud over it for me. I'm missing all my friends and everybody I built a relationship with because we had a big freshman class coming into my first school. So now I'm dealing with that. going from a bunch of playing time to little to no playing time. Then I get my shoulder caught in a bad play at practice, or my arm caught in a bad play, dislocated my shoulder again. Figured everybody's career has to come to an end at one point. So not only did I quit the team, I quit basketball as a whole, which kind of was a relief because my coach literally had kicked us out of practice multiple times and had told us, you're the worst group of guys I've ever effing coached. I don't want to effing coach you guys. We had got kicked out of practice multiple times. So it was just a negative environment itself. Now at this point, I'm in a position where I'm getting up at 5 o'clock every day. I'm going to work, class, practice, my games, back to work, whatever my schedule was for the day, trying to maintain and do the best that I can, still battling mentally. I'm going through these mental demons, I'll say. I eventually had hit a point where I was contemplating suicide. I got a call at one night saying that a real close friend of mine who I called a cousin had died. That just kind of broke me. I'm then at this point crying myself.
Give me a timeline from beach week till we quit. We quit basketball. So what's that timeline there? So the people know.
Beach week is April. The death comes, I'll say June, and the funeral is in June. I start school in August. The season starts in September. I quit the team by late November, December. Working the 2 jobs and everything consistently during this period of time. I get the call that he dies in January, which even with January, that's when I was on my way to my winter classes, and that's when I really had hit my lowest, and it was just, I don't really care what happens, and I'm leaving it up to chance. I remember I was on my way to class, and I just kind of I closed my eyes, just hit the gas, and it was just F it. Whatever happens, happens. If I live, I live. If not, oh well. Obviously, I was able to live. It wasn't a bad accident. Nobody was hurt. It's like this definitely in terms of, I guess, a spiritual sense, whatever people want to put it in.
Wait, slow down. Let me process. You saying that you got in your car one day and you just hit the gas pedal?
Yeah, I was on my way to my winter classes and I just closed my eyes, hit the gas. I was just not necessarily hysterical, but I didn't really care what was going on.
How fast were you going?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. But even, I know, I can say this in terms of the ancestors and everyone and everything that surrounds you. I don't remember hitting the brake at all. But I remember the car slowing down and me even saying, how is the car slowing down?
It's deep, brother.
So it was, when I hit the other car, it was just I wouldn't necessarily say a tap, but there were no scratches on either of the cars. In New Jersey, it's a certain law. I just had to pay a ticket for reckless driving, but no scratch, no dents, no bumps, not even like a nick on either of the cars to show that there was an accident. So it was, only thing I can say is I definitely felt something around me. I felt a certain protection and confirmation that you have more to do in life. After that, I figured, that's when I realized, okay, there's more for me. I need to step my stuff up and I need to get out of what I'm thinking. I remember learning psychology my sophomore year of high school, how smiling releases positive endorphins and raises dopamine levels. So I'm forcing myself to smile as much as I can, making myself laugh, thinking about all these things that make me feel good and motivates me. Eventually the springtime comes, so this whole new season, I'm finally hitting like a certain happiness in my life again. I stopped eating meat, I had cut out eating meat. I was finally dunking consistently. I had a 6-pack for the first time in my life since I was like 5 years old. I had worked my way back onto the basketball court, still struggling with shooting, but I finally was able to tend to myself physically and mentally and do what I need to do to get better. A couple months later, I get a call from my coaches. Hey, we want you to come back and play. No hesitation, went back down to North Carolina and played. I finished out with like All-American, All-Conference nominations, Player of the Week, Player of the Month kind of nominations and everything. And after going through everything I had went through, I finally just looked back at it and just saw what I was able to do. And I said, you know what? I want to write a book. And it's not, like I said, not necessarily to share my story. I do that in the interviews, but the books is literally me teaching my process. I studied psychology for about 8 years, sociology for 4, epigenetics for 3 years. So it was me taking everything I was learning, everything I was studying, and want to just put it in a simplified format for realistically just a young black male in the ghetto that never picked up a book.
It's crazy how pain changes you. You've been, you've been through a journey. Obviously, like you said, you was protected by something. But you know, I've noticed that even including myself, we have to go through pain. Pain seems to be a main factor in your personal growth. And then I noticed what you said, okay, you wrap your personal growth experience around entrepreneurship. And that's what I kind of, you know, that's why I like interviewing entrepreneurs, because I noticed that all of us do it. Like I tell people that, like I love getting real. This is Black Knowledge YouTube, y'all. This ain't Instagram. This ain't, you know, Facebook. This is the Black Knowledge YouTube channel. And with that being said, okay, so we got this book, right? We're writing this book. We're 21 years old. At what point you was like, okay, I've been through all this negativity, right? Okay, I'm eating better. I'm learning more about myself. I'm hearing you're learning, you're self-loving yourself now. So at what point when you knew that, okay, I need to write a book to tell or share my experience?
It was definitely after my junior year of college, or going into my junior year of college, making my way back. I had manifested and put myself back into the main position I wanted to be in. I started reading again my junior year of college, my second semester. The first books I read again were Power of the Subconscious Mind and 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power told me that I had control of myself. Power of the Subconscious Mind says that I have this certain control over my mind, which again, I was already studying psychology, but now I really fell in love even more with the subconscious mind. For me, it just made sense. They say the subconscious mind is 95% of who we are, that what we do is ultimately a reaction from what's already pre-programmed into us. And we know if you want to make a change to yourself, you have to go to the source. So if this is 95% of who we are, then the subconscious is the source. So it was like, okay, you know what? I have the personal experience. I need to share it. I need to share people. I need to share with people how to do this in terms of being an entrepreneur and being an author. I never necessarily had an intention growing up saying, oh, I want to be an author. It was basketball. I just planned on going.
That's how I noticed that's how the universe works. Like, you know, like with me, I never knew that I would build an international company called Black Knowledge. It's crazy because, you know, it's crazy. Like, think about this. Like, imagine your 15-year-old self riding up to yourself now on a bike saying, hey, man, you're going to write books and help people love themselves. Like, you'll be like, what are you talking about? And you ride off on a bicycle. And like, what is this little dude talking about? It's kind of, it's scary and exciting at the same time, right?
Definitely. Like I said, I was just focused on basketball. Even after my junior year, I was able to receive my first couple of contracts to go play professionally. So that was mad fun. Plus, I played for one of the USA teams. So I was able to receive interest from that. I chose to go back to school to finish out my last year eligibility to play. But it was the fact that I was able to reach that level. That's what really solidified everything for me. Like I said, junior year, I knew I wanted to write a book. I spent the next year just paying attention, just being conscious and aware of everything, studying more, learning more in terms of myself, the mind, just everything. I wanted to really study life, whether in terms of anatomy, the psychology aspect of it. I really wanted to study and learn about life and really learn and know why and what triggers these different things. And like I said, realistically, the average Black person, they don't know deep into psychology. They don't know these scientific terms of things. That's why for me, it was important to take these primarily, we know they come from Africa, but German studies such as psychology, with William Wundt being the founder, then going to Freud and Carl Jung. Let me take these, in a sense, foreign studies and then put it in a format for that young brother who might have a similar story to mine, or just somebody who grew up how I grew up in a certain environment or something similar.
When you study psychology,
information.
Like even me, I study psychology. Obviously, you know, I have a background as well in psychology, and you know, I always preach about Maslow's hierarchy of needs because it's true, and self-actualization is a real thing, and most people don't get it. You know, obviously, you know, Freud, and I wrap it up like with me and my studies of psychology. I always promote that psychology is just basically stolen from the Eastern world, aka Buddhism. But that's why they have to talk about it, if you notice, in psychology. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, we write a book. Okay, we're getting our life back together. We write our first book junior year, right? So how are we, like, you say, okay, I'm just trying to understand, how did you